Hey guys! So, 7 months ago, I made a YouTube video of the Wicker Man movie with Nicolas Cage. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch this after this video. I bet you heard about the movie Wicker Man. The movie where the police officer investigates the disappearance of the missing girl in a town full of weirdos. I know that many of you talk about two movies, both from 1973 and 2006, on why one movie is better than the other. I can see why you find the remake as bad to the point of making fun of it. But whether you like it or hate it, it's fine. But if you think this remake is bad, let me prove you wrong, because the Wicker Tree is worse. My eyes! My eyes! It all starts with a Christian singer named Beth and her boyfriend Steve. Their mission is to spread the gospel. In a small town in Scotland, they visit Dallas, Texas, and they announce their wedding after the mission. So they visit Scotland, people welcome her, then she sings as always because it's her duty. The couple gets to the hotel playing the news about her visit, and they play one of Beth's old music videos showing her scandalous past.
I got nothing to sell, I got favors for rent, and the loving I give is heaven sent.
Seriously? She visits Scotland to spread the gospel by singing Christian music, and they repaid her by doing this on TV to humiliate her. But I guess that's what happens when you're doing something embarrassing. Now the past will haunt you. Anyway, the couple pass out papers to the neighbors to see if they're interested in God, which is not a bad thing. They again meet this lady that doesn't like them getting suspicious. Doesn't like them getting suspicious of them, thinking they consider the island people as heathen. But Beth still insisted on being kind, despite what she did to her. Despite what she did to her on TV. They get into the car, talking about the differences in their religions, and Beth was wondering about their goddess.
About this goddess. You were kidding, right?
No.
The woman mentions them as born again, which in John 3 verse 1 through 15 talks about when Jesus was explaining about being born again.
I take it that both of you are what you call born again.
Yeah.
The lady also mentions that if they're not born again, they bleed to death, meaning that they will go to hell, including the children.
That the day Jesus returns, everyone who is not born again will bleed to death. Even innocent children in Borneo who've never even heard of Jesus. Do you believe that?
Heck. I don't know.
Let me stop her there because what she's saying is not true because it says it in Matthew 19 verse 14. While it's common for Christians not to know exactly everything, even though it is important, I'm guessing that their parents are not Christian. They came with a guy named Sir Lackland in another car on the road. Again, they go. They are met by a lady named Lolly, riding a white horse. Steve gets this obvious attraction towards another woman, which makes Beth angry. He said to her, "It's a horse," and totally not another woman.
Are you
being stupid or something.
And they visit the one and only crazy town in all of Scotland full of weirdos, Summerisle. They are approached by a man carrying a crown and something gross in the basket. I'm sorry, I'm not showing that to you. Saying weird things or something. He also mentions the word oracle.
Can't understand a word he's saying half the time, so we call him the Oracle. Oracle? Yes.
Lackland splits the couple up. Then we get this scene where Lolly and the Italian dude do what most dope movies. Beth meets this old woman named Mary, while Steve explains the Bible using cards or something, counting all the numbers. We see the women making Beth this dress. I have to admit, they are going to kill her in the dress. The dress itself is just super pretty. I feel so inspired to draw it somehow. They did this so they can make Beth the queen. Stephen goes to his room, and when he gets to bed, he pictures Beth almost naked with all of the fruits or something. Then he wakes up and he sees the crow in the window. Then he wakes again? Okay, that's fine. Next morning, Steve is asked to ride the white horse to the castle while they drive a red car. Like, wow. One thing I like from both the Wicker Man movies is that even though I don't expect their town to look like they live in the Middle Ages or something, while having lights in the house and water running is one thing, they shouldn't have the internet or cars because it's just off balance, which is why you don't see that in either two Wicker Man movies. That's just my opinion. Anyway, stupid Steve cheats on his own fiancée behind her back, even though Lolly is with another guy. It's like,
What was that?
I know you're barely Christian, you could be wrong, but come on, why do movies always do this? Ugh. So we're to this scene where they talk about the balance of nature and having to help the town or whatever. Then we were taken to the scene where they're driving a car and stuff. So now Beth and Steve are preaching the gospel to the island like it's some Hallmark movie. This is how I feel at this point. As they are singing, the old man looks at the food and starts cutting the pig's meat. If you look at the pig, it looks gross. Like blood skin is in the mix with crap.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
Lolly comes along to see this man. She kisses like she did to Steve and the other guy. Like, damn girl. Like, how many boyfriends do you need? Then she tries not to admit, even though she does. We're back to seeing Beth and Steve, but it's time Lackland is on stage announcing Beth as the queen with her consent, and while Steve is being called Laddie somehow. Later on, Beth and Stephen goes with Mary to get a new room. When Mary leaves the room, Steve either tries to break up with Beth or want Beth to come back home with him, that he'd rather be in Texas. And one of the dumbest sayings in the movie is this.
I got nothing to sell, I got favors for rent, and the loving I give is heaven sent. If you buy me a beer and wanna try your luck, then take me for a ride in your pickup truck. Call me cheap, call me.
Oh my god.
Beth plays her stupid old songs that was played earlier in the movie, and on the radio, she tries to enjoy it. How can you be born again and still fall like this? I know you're living in the past, but how the hell do you bring your stupid old CD with you? So this is a problem with these main characters in the Wicker Man movies, including Beth and Steve and Edward, played by Nicolas Cage. They're supposed to be good people against a pagan society. Either they're Christian or just half Christian, because look at this couple. If you remember the police officer named Sergeant Neil Howie, this man was pure clean. I'm not saying he's perfect man, but he stays true to his duties as a police officer and even saying and all that stuff. He was not pleased on what they do in their pagan religion. He prayed to God even when he was about to die, which means if he and the rest of every character in the movie was living in the end times, he would win. A great story about good and evil. There has to be a dynamic between them, and that is what the two movies are missing. It's like Star Wars, and not the modern ones, where the main character fights forces of the dark side. What if there have no light, and you can't fight darkness without the light? Or like the Justice League, what if they were to fight crime and supervillains and they're evil themselves? And it doesn't make sense to fight supervillain when the main character is a villain too. Of course, there are appropriate balance if you're gonna create something unique. Take Megamind for example. You can name so many movies between angels and demons and a variety of obvious reasons. But if you were to take the goodness of an angel, he'd be a fallen angel. And that just takes away the dynamic balance that makes a good story. Now, I know you're just gonna argue with this one, but this is just my opinion. I don't really care. I don't know. Anyway, while Steve is alone or something, Beth on the other hand is getting ready for the party. At night, Beth is praying to God so she can proceed to sleep, but not before the butler serves her milk, only to turn out to have poison in it. People think that Beth is smart, so Beth or something, so they try to make a plan about it. Sir Lackland gets his flashback about the important guy of all Summerisle, Lord Summerisle, Christopher Lee. We can see both him and Lackland as a teenager. I wonder if this guy is Mr. Summerisle's grandson or something. So Steve gets ready for the horse and a ride for anyone to chase into the castle while Lolly cuts the saddle on the horse so he can lose. Meanwhile, Beth wakes up to find a guy trying to kill her. Luckily, she defends herself with a piece of glass and runs away. Beth goes to town to seek help, but the fat guy finds her and kidnaps her, while the old man watches helplessly. While Steve makes it to the castle, Beth wakes up in a strange room full of dead porcelain girls who were supposed to be queens themselves. Steve gets attacked by everyone, leaving Lolly with regret. Eventually, Beth leaves to save Steve or something. Lolly offers to help Beth, but she's too angry at her to proceed to go. Beth confronts Lackland. She asks if Steve is really dead, and they give her strange responses, thinking that his soul's within the mall or something. She pushes Lackland to the train and burns him alive. Now you pagans see how wrong it is to burn people alive.
I hope you learned your lesson.
Another dumbest thing Beth has done is ask the people to sing with her.
How about your laddie song? I don't really know the words, so you'll have to help me.
All year the bloom is on the flower.
I didn't even get to finish my damian!
Why do they always interrupt our snacking?
Girl, you're wasting time doing something like this when you should be escaping. Eventually, she does leave, but met by a kid, she ends up killed herself. Later on, the new baby comes and Beth Ali is now remaining as a doll, just like the others. That's it. Now you know how and why this movie is stupid. Like, completely stupid. It doesn't make any sense. The acting is cheesy, especially having the only movie that Britannica Nicole, I need to say your name or something. Christianity is poorly portrayed, and if there's one more thing I have to say, the NCA, National Crime Agency, would have investigated all this and have everyone arrested. This movie is horrible, that I'd rather watch the reboot than watch this movie again. Hey guys, thank you for watching my videos. You should also check out my artwork on DeviantArt in the description below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see more videos. Bye now!